Hey guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's lesson we're going to take a look at Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. And in this lesson we're going to take a look at the rhythm guitar parts only. If you're interested in learning the solo and also the lead part of the song, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll make a separate video on that. The tabs and the backing track are going to be available at GuitarForce.com. You can find the link in the description box down below, also on my Patreon page. And I'll try to make a cover sort of playthrough of this song if YouTube allows it. And if it happens, you will find the link in the description box down below as well to my other channel, so you can check it out. Regarding the tuning, we're going to be one whole step down on all the strings, so D standard technically. And for the sound, as usual, I was using the VST plugin Guitar Rig. I'm going to show you the picture of the preset right now, and while you are checking it out, I'm going to play you my low E string, which is D, so you can tune up and play along with this lesson. Alright, so as always we're going to break up the song into parts. We're going to start off with the intro, and even though this video is going to be concentrated more on the rhythm guitar part, in the beginning, in the very intro, there is also a lead guitar which is playing these sound effects. And you know, I suppose if you're going to be playing all of the parts on one guitar, I'm just going to show you in this part the intro of the lead guitar. So basically what we have is we have a pre-dive bombs, but in the reverse. So you are starting off with the open D string with pre-dive on the tremolo arm. So it has this sound. So what we do here, like I said, you hit the D string and you quickly dive the tremolo arm down and then gradually release it. And then we do the same with the A string. And then we do the same with the low E string. And that's how we get this sound. So again, first D string with the pre-bend or pre-dive on the tremolo arm, gradually releasing it. Then you do the same with the A, and then the same with the low E string. So altogether it's going to be something like this. And in the end, you know, you stay on the low E string and add some vibrato with the tremolo arm, and then we go into the actual rhythm part. Alright, so let me first play through the first part of the intro. So it's gonna go like this. So pretty straightforward. We start off with the power chord, the G power chord, going to the chromatically to the G sharp and then to A. Now the whole thing here is in the rhythm, so we start off on the off beat on the G chord, and you can even start with an upstroke. And you can do either slide into the A or you can pick every chord, doesn't really matter. And when we get to the A, we have this figure. So we are, you know, chugging on the low E string, 5th fret, the A note, and also adding the power chord. So we have sort of like accents. So so we start off on the first hit. We play the chord, then we play 3 times palm muted, the low E, and then again accent, and you vary it like this, you alternate it. So the power chord, 3 times a low E string. The last time, so you do it for 3 times, and then the last time when you hit the power chord,
you play 2 times low E, and then you go back to the G chord again. Okay, and that's the first part of the intro, and then we go into the next part, which is actually also being played during the choruses. So let me play it first through, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so that's the part when we play during the intro. So it starts off with the A power chord. Now we switch from this position to this position right here. So you play, so connecting the two parts, the two figures. So the first figure you start with the G, slide to the G sharp, and then you go to the A power chord right here in the open position, in the second position right here. So you play the A power chord, then we have 2 pull-offs on the 3rd fret to the open on the A string. Then we play the G chord, but we kind of break it up into the bass note first, so 3rd fret on the low E, and then you add the rest of the chord. Let it ring out, and then we have, so it's pull-offs here starting on the 2nd fret to the open on the A string, then you go 3rd fret, pull off to the open, then you have 4th fret, and we get right into the D chord, so you have like that. When we stay on the D chord, let it ring out a little bit, and then we have this figure. So that's the part that we play first time. So here we have, it's a suspended 4th chord, D sus4. You hit that part of the chord, then you alternate it with the D note on the A string 5th fret, and then you play just the standard, the D major chord. So you alternate in between sus4 and the D standard. And then we're chugging on the D note, 5th fret of the A string, 5 times. Then again we have, so you play the sus4 chord, alternate it with the D note, 5th fret on the A string, and then you play the rest of the major chord and slide out. Okay, so from the beginning of this figure is going to go like this slowly. You slide out, and then we have 3rd fret on the low E, going back to the A power chord again. So we go to the beginning of the figure again, and then we repeat basically the whole thing. So A with the 2 pull-offs, then we go to the G chord, then we have the other pull-offs to the D chord, and here the second time we have a slightly different variation here. So when we get to the D chord, we have, okay, so we are playing the D chord, then the sus4, the bass note, 5th fret A string, then we have the major part of the chord, 2 times the bass note, and then again the major chord, and let it ring out. So, and then we have, so this kind of chromatic build-up, which is played on the low E string. We go open 2nd, 3rd, 4th frets, then you go to the A string, open to the 3rd, and then we have the A chord. So back to the beginning of the figure. So basically the figure has the same structure, but the endings are different. So you play, it has sort of like an A ending and then the B ending, and you alternate between the two. But for the intro, we play each of the endings once, and then when you get to the figure again the third time, you have you get up to here to the D chord, hit it, let it ring out, and then we go into the next part. But basically that's the figure that we play in the intro, and also it's the same figure that we play in the chorus. I'll explain when we get to the chorus. There are slightly just additional things there, but we'll get to that in a bit. So one more time, the intro very slowly is gonna go like this, just this part. Alright, so the next part is going to be the verse. So we end it on the D chord, letting it ring out, and then we go into the first part of the verse. So let me play it through, then we're going to break it down. So it's going to go like this. Alright, I'm going to stop right here. So as we ended the intro with the D chord, then we get to the figure that we played in the intro again, but this time we play it without the accents. So the slide from the G to G sharp to A is the same, and then we just stay on the A, either power chord or playing single note, the bass note on the low E, doesn't really matter, but you palm mute it. And we do again the transition from the G to G sharp to A, and we just chug in on the low E string 5th fret. So we do it for 2 times. Then we have, so we go to the C chord after we play. So we go G, G sharp, and then you quickly go to the C power chord. Hit it, let it ring out for almost the entire bar for 4 beats. Then you go to the G chord, do the same, hit it, let it ring out, and then we go to the D chord. So this figure we already did it in the intro, so it's the first ending that we did. So it's exactly the same. You hit the D chord, and then you alternate it with the sus4 and the major chord, and in between you have the bass note on the 5th fret of the A string. Then again, after you've played the figure, again we're back to this the first figure that we did. So sliding from the G to G sharp to the A. So going back to the beginning of the verse. And we basically play this figure for 2 times with the same ending. So it's just the same ending for the verse. And then after that we have the second part, which is going the transitioning. So here we slide from the G to G sharp to the A, and we have this chord, which is essentially it's like a Jimi Hendrix's chord. It's a dominant 7 sharp 9, but without the 3rd. So what we have here is you are sliding from the G to G sharp to the A, and then you add these notes. So basically on the high E and the B strings you have the 8th fret. Then you skip the G string and you have the octave, the A note on the 7th fret of the D string. And this is, like I said, it's a dominant 7 sharp 9, but without the third. So here's the third, and you can either play the open A string to let it ring out, or you can use like Hendrix's chord. He used this a lot with his thumb on the 5th fret, but you don't have to do that. I mean, if it's not comfortable to you, you can just play it like this. You know, because I played a lot of Hendrix, so I kind of got used to this. So I can play the octaves here with the rest of the chord. So we hit this chord, let it ring out, and then again we have the transitioning part from the G to G sharp to A, and then we hit the second time. Then we have, so you hit the A string open, then you play the you know, dive bomb with the tremolo arm, and then we go into the chorus. So you have the A chord and the rest. But that's the part that we play during the verses. So now I'm going to play the whole verse, all of the parts together. Slowly, of course, it's going to go like this. Alright, so right after the verse we go into the chorus, and like I said, it's exactly the same figure that we did in the intro, but the ending is going to be slightly different. So again, we have the A and B endings, so we play the A ending, then B, then again A, and then the second time instead of B ending we have a transitioning part. So I'm just going to play through the chorus, and then when we come to the transitioning part I'll explain what I'm doing there. So it's gonna go like this. Alright, so as you can see, when we play the second time the B ending, again we start off with the A power chord, 2 pull-offs, then we go to the G chord, and then we have, again we start off with the second to the open on the A string pull-off, then the third to the open on the A string, then you hit the A string again, and then we go to the F power chord. On the F power chord, you hit it, let it ring out a little bit, and then you add chugging on the 1st fret, palm muted, for 2 bars. In the end of the 2nd bar again, you hit the full power chord, let it ring out a little bit, and then again we're chugging palm muted on the 1st fret of the low E string. And then we get to the 2nd bar, or the 4th bar I should say, we have this transitioning part. So it goes like this: you hit the 1st fret to the open on low E string, and then what we did in the ending of the chorus, so the chromatic 2, 3, 4, open to the 3rd fret on the A string, and then you get to the A chord, to the A power chord, and I suggest you do this chord here, in this position you play it here instead of here, because then we get right into the, again back to this kind of another transitioning part, or the first figure that we did. So one more time to recap. So we have the chorus with the two endings, A, B, then we play again the A ending, and then on the second B ending we have this part. So again, starts off with the A power chord, two pull-offs going to the G, then we have the pull-offs second to the open, third fret to the open. You hit the open A string, going to the F power chord. Hit it, let it ring out, chug on the first fret. Again, hit the F power chord, let it ring out, back to the chugging. And then we have this transitioning part. Alright, and that's how we end the first chorus. So we are now into the bridge part. The bridge part, basically we're just staying again on playing this figure just like we did in the verse. So we play it for 2 times and then we get into the second verse. The second verse is exactly the same as the first one. So now the parts are repeated, and after the second verse we go into the second chorus. The second chorus is also exactly the same as the first one, with the exception of, again, we have the transitioning part where we go to the F power chord. But in the end, instead of playing this part, we go right into the E power chord. Now you can play it either here, or you can play it, you know, an octave higher with the low E string open also if you want to. And this is the bridge section. So we hit the E power chord and just let it ring out. It's going on for 4 or 5 bars or something like that. And then we get into the next part, sort of like an interlude, which is played on a cleaner guitar. Alright, so this interlude part is basically based on the 3 chords, which is the A chord, the G chord, and then we have the D chord. And it's very simple. You just hit each of the chords, let it ring out for almost the full bar on a cleaner guitar, and mostly concentrated on the higher strings, you know, just to give it a little bit more kind of higher sound, higher pitch. And you know, like, you know, for the A chord you can play just the triad without the bass note, but I mean you can still play the whole chord if you want to. Then for the G, you know, to make it a little bit kind of thinner, you can just go for a couple of strings here, or play 2 or 3 strings, I mean 2 or 3 notes. So, you know, I've written out in the tabs, you will see slightly different fingerings. I mean, you know, just a couple of strings for the G, for example. But essentially it's, you know, the G chord. You can also add, you know, the high E string, the open G, it's all part of the chord. You can play it like this, you know, like a standard open chords, it doesn't really matter. And then we have the D chord, again sort of like a power chord. And yeah, it's all comes down to the you know, to the timing now. So you have on the D we stay a little bit longer, then again you repeat A. Now the second time here on the D we have the suspended 4. You're pulling off to the major chord, so just like we did here, but it's played like that. So you start with the suspended 4, hit the chord and pull off to the major chord right here. And you can hit it again to reinforce it. And that's basically the trick that we do for this interlude. and then you repeat again the whole thing. After that, we go to the second part of the interlude. But before that, before we start playing the chords, there is also this part. So it's played on the second guitar. So we basically take this, you know, the part that we did in the chorus of the B ending. So it starts off on the off beat, and you play open 2, 3, 4. Then you on the low E, then you go to the A string open to the 3rd fret, and then you hit the A power chord. Then there is a rest, and then we repeat the chords that we did previously, but we just hit them. You know, you hit them and you mute them after that. So you have. Right, and then we repeat again. Hit the chord, let it, you know, mute it. G, D. Second time you hit the D and you let it ring out, and then, you know, the band starts playing again in a slower tempo. I mean, the tempo is the same, but they break it down, make it slower, sound like it's slower 2 times. And then we just hit the chords and let them ring out. You can either play again the open chords, you can play you know, in these positions, so G, power chord, D in this position, doesn't really matter. And we hit each of the chords and let it ring out. And we do it for 2 times. And right after this part, we go into the chorus and we play exactly the same what we did in the first and the second chorus, but without the transitioning part going to the F power chord. So we do it exactly the same as we did in the intro. So with the A and B endings. And so I'm not going to go into detail here because we covered it already. Just gonna mention that after the chorus we go right into the solo, and the solo is also based on the chorus figure. However, the second round when they play the solo or the chord progression during the solo, instead of the pull-offs, so let me just play it through the 2 times. So the first time is the regular one. So this round is exactly the same, and then the second time they play just. All right. So instead of playing the pull-offs after the A power chord, he just hits the chord, then hits it again on the off beat. So the first one is 1 and then you hit it 1 more time, and you do the same for the G chord without the pull-offs. But once you get to the D chord, then you are back to the figure that we played during the chorus, exactly the same. So with this part, all right, and then we continue playing with the same endings, so A and B. Okay, so after the solo we continue playing the chorus until the end of the song, and again we have the same figure. It all comes down to the structure now. We just continue playing with the with the A and B endings, and then we do just like what we did in the intro, getting up to the D chord and letting it ring out. So we have hit the D chord, let it ring out, and then we go back to the intro part, basically with the accented power chord. And then in the very end, so we play it for a couple of times, and then in the very end we have So from G to A, G, G sharp to A, we play 3 times in the triplet field, triplet quarter notes, and we do it for 3 times. Rest, and then we go into the outro part of the song, where the lead guitar is playing some noodling going on, you know, typical kind of ending stuff for the lead guitar. The rhythm guitar, however, is just playing the chords. It's tremolo picking. So we start off with the A, then we go to the B, and again we do the tremolo picking. Then we go to the C, and then to the D. Then we have the couple of pick scrapes, slides out, and then we have the A power chord, and that's how we end the song.
Alright guys, so that was it for this part. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. And also comment in the section below if you want me to post the lesson on the solo and lead guitar parts. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar lessons. In the meantime, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.